Look, I got my reasons to get to this point one needs it. Everybody got big seasons.
You can hold it. They don't know. Oh, all right. Here we go. Time to start the show.
The views expressed on this program are not those of intellectualradio.com, its subsidiaries, or sponsors. Encouraging, educating, and empowering you into action. This is Warriors Talk with your host, Lady ReShell.
Hello. Welcome to Warriors Talk with author and founder, Lady ReShell, where we move away from awareness towards action. It's Testimonial Tuesday, y'all, and I'm so excited about the show today. We are live on Intellectual Radio. We just heard from Roman with the Drive at 5. Keep it locked right here on Intellectual Radio and allow us to feed your brain. My sponsor is Emanuel Church of God in Christ, located at 3058 West Van Buren in Chicago, with Pastor Michael Richardson, and they are still practicing social distancing. You can catch the Word of God every Sunday morning at 10:15 a.m. on the Facebook page, Emanuel Cogic. Our healing verse of the day is coming from Proverbs 3:5-6. Trust in the Lord with all thy heart. Lean not to thy own understanding, but in all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct thy path. If you are just tuning in on any type of social media, do me a favor, like, share the show, invite somebody else in on the show. We're going to have some great information coming today from some amazing women, and I'm just so excited for these ladies on today. So do me a favor, go ahead and invite somebody in on the show. Don't be afraid to comment and ask them questions. You guys find out where to get this amazing book. So I'm going to go ahead and bring in the two other guests that are in the green room waiting. So in studio right now, we have none other than Lisa Boyd. Hello, Lisa.
Hello.
And we have Kenya Brown.
Hello.
And then on Facebook, we have Shanette Caywood. Hello, Shanette.
Hi, everyone.
And then we have the...
Can you hear?
Can you hear us?
I can't hear anything.
Okay, hold on. Okay. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to go with Lisa first. What I want you to do is just tell us, Lisa, why you decided to be a part of this particular book.
The reason why I decided to be a part of this book is to inspire women faced with breast cancer to not fear it, to walk by faith, trust God, and look forward to being healed. And that was the reason why I decided to be a part of it, because I wanted my voice to be heard, to let other women know that breast cancer is not a death sentence. you can live through it. And I wanted the world to see that God is amazing and God is doing miracle signs and wonders in this day and time. So I want for this walk by.
Awesome. So I want to give Kenya a chance to respond to that same question. Why did you decide to be a part of this amazing book?
I decided to be a part of this amazing book due to the fact that I wanted women to know that, just like Lisa, that breast cancer is not the end. When you hear that a person has breast cancer, that's the first thing you think, that it's a death sentence. It's not a death sentence. You can live through it.
Awesome. And then we have, LaKeisha, can you hear me? Can you hear us now? Okay, she can. Shanette, you can still hear us, okay?
Yes.
Okay, can you just, elaborate on why you decided to be a part of this amazing book? And we do have the visionary here too, so I just want to make sure she can, she's going to get her sound together so that she can let us know what, how she came up with this idea to do this book.
Okay. For me, it's the same reason as the other ladies, and I just wanted to give hope and inspire, and it's a passion for me to share my stories with others to let them know that breast cancer does not mean a death sentence. To me, it means live vibrantly.
I like that.
That was
Live
good.
vibrantly.
That was good.
That was. I like that. So you guys are a part of this book, and it's 12 Shades of Breast Cancer. And you talk about your story, and you talk about it in your own way. So how did LaKeisha reach out to you guys to say, hey, I want you to be a part of this book? And then what was that ultimate deciding factor in being a part of the book? I'm going to go to Lisa first.
Well, initially, I wanted to share my story immediately anyway. After I had finished all the treatments, I just didn't know how, I didn't know where, how to share my story. And I asked God to um, put me in the resources of the right people that I can be able to share my story with. And through social media, LaKeisha reached out to me and asked me if I wanted to be a part of this amazing project that she had in mind with encouraging other women to live through it, and not fear it. And immediately I knew that was of God. And I immediately told her, yes, I would be a part of it.
Can you?
For me, me and LaKeisha went to church together. And it's so ironic. I saw her post something on Facebook and she was talking about breast cancer. So I inboxed her like, oh my God, I just found out myself that I had breast cancer. So it was so funny that we both started treatment together and radiation together. We both end up in the hospital together, which was so ironic. We both stayed the same days. I came out. I went in the day before her, and I got out the day before her, and it was just like whoa. But she had told me about the book, and I'm like, I'm on board. Whatever you want to do. I say it's just that I don't know if I was. I think I was scared to really talk about breast cancer, but LaKeisha wasn't. She was on Facebook talking about it, and I'm like, I ain't doing all that. But she inspired me.
Awesome. LaKeisha, can you hear us?
I can now.
Yay!
I don't know what happened, but yeah, I can hear you guys now. How y'all
Good.
doing?
Awesome. So we're gonna go to Shanette, and then we're gonna go to LaKeisha. Talk about
Before the book, I actually did not know LaKeisha, but it was so ironic, the connection, because she knows my family from childhood.
Yep.
So I believe there's a purpose and intent behind everything. And she reached out to me. She's like, I'm doing this book and I would love for you to be a part of it. And initially I was afraid because I never imagined myself on this journey before. I mean, I've shared my story many times, but I never saw myself as a writer. So that's what inspired me, thinking, why not? And just challenging myself and pushing myself to go beyond what I was already doing.
Awesome.
Yes.
Now, LaKeisha, before you get started, congratulations to all you ladies on the book. I know you guys are excited.
Yes.
And with you being the visionary of the book, I'm just excited. And I just want to know, like, where did the idea come from? Even the name of the book, like, where did that come from? And then how did you go about selecting these beautiful ladies? And you also have a male in the book as well.
Mhm. So for me, I'm a very open person when it comes to things that cause adversity, things that make you have to push forward. I'm very open about sharing my story because I always just feel like you can help somebody else. By profession, I'm a social worker. My whole thing is about healing. So I'm always open to tell my story no matter what's going on. During chemo, just one of those days when I was feeling my worst, that's when I knew I had to do something to help other people feel better because I was feeling horrible. And I had an amazing support system, but I thought about the ones who didn't have a support system. So that's when I said, you know what? Got to do something to just be able to encourage other people that they can make it through this process. And you will. But you need encouragement, you need a support system.
Yes.
Some people just don't know how to advocate for themselves. So with us sharing our stories, sharing some of the pros and cons that we experience, it'll give someone a little bit more advocacy and open their eyes a little bit as to advocating for themselves and gaining a support system, just different things. So it's all about being able to pour back into others and help other people.
Yes.
Right.
Awesome. So, LaKeisha, with your vision for the book, what do you expect someone that reads this book to walk away with?
A lot of knowledge, because I think I can attest for all of us.
Yes.
Honestly, I know for myself, before breast cancer, I knew nothing about breast cancer. I did not know that there were several different kinds of breast cancer. I did not know symptoms of breast cancer. There was just so much that I did not know. So with the book, we have included a dictionary so that other people can read up and say, oh, that's what that is. We've told our story so people can know symptoms, so that they can know what to expect along the way. So I just feel like it's more knowledge. It's a knowledge base. And because African American women have been hit with it so hard lately, I really feel like it'll help them.
Wow. They say knowledge is power, but it's what you do with that knowledge. You have to take action with that knowledge and not just sit on it. So,
Absolutely.
I'm always grateful for any type of information that, I receive and that we can give to someone. So I wanted to do it really quickly because I don't want to give a spoiler for the book. I want people to actually buy the book. So I don't want you guys to tell your entire story on here. But if you can do it within a paragraph so that you can give them a little, a teaser so they can, go and get the book and really read on, how somebody actually survived this. Because a lot of times we hear the negative stuff about any type of cancer. But to hear that people actually fought and they won, and it wasn't easy, but you're here, you survived it. So I'm gonna go with Shanette first.
Hi, everyone. Well, my story is
First,
being diagnosed with stage 4 breast cancer from the beginning.
Yeah.
I had never had early stage breast cancer, never stage 1 or 2. It was stage 4 that had already spread in other parts of the body. So just talking about the journey and just showing how you can survive a stage 4 diagnosis. And here I am 8 years later, doing amazingly great. So that's my story.
Yes.
Awesome. And what's your title in the book, your chapter?
My chapter is Surviving Strong.
Yes. Yes.
I love it. Lisa, what's your title in the book?
I believe my title is The Faith Journey, because going through it, when I first got that diagnosis, I fought fear. I'm not gonna lie. The first thing, I was shocked, and then fear tried to take me. But I fought that fear thing, and how I fought it was by faith. Words have power, and I use my words to create a healing atmosphere for me. I use my words to tell the doctors, do not say it's my cancer, say it's the cancer, because this is a disease that I am fighting, and I'm fighting to win.
Mhm.
And I know that words have power. So my faith in God healed me. And to be honest, when I got the diagnosis, I told God, I don't have but a little bit, but I heard God say that's all you need. And I worked that faith, and here I am 4 years later. To God be the glory.
Yes. Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
Jesus.
My title of the book is Beauty and the Beast.
Ooh.
And the reason why I chose Beauty and the Beast is because the beast was the cancer. When I went through my first chemo treatment, it whooped my behind. I ended up in the emergency room. When I got there, I was unresponsive. They worked on me for like 45 minutes. I ended up being in ICU for 3 days, and then in the regular room for the other 3 days. The type of cancer I had was triple negative, which is beast itself. So they had to be aggressive with it. And the meds that they were giving me was the harshest meds that a person can receive. So it kind of messed with my body, started shutting everything down. But to God be the glory, I am here to tell my story. You can win.
You can.
You can win.
Thank you, Jesus.
That's awesome. So one of my questions is, this is for LaKeisha. If you knew someone that was going through this breast cancer journey, what would be some advice that you would give to them?
One for sure would be that I would tell them to know that they were in control
Yeah.
and to just have total trust in this walk. And I would tell them not to stress. I would tell them to just remain positive, always have a positive outlook about the situation, and to just be grateful for every day, every moment, and just make a plan for what's to come after this. You know what I'm saying? I was in it and continuing to look for what was next. I was like, I'm healed, I'm whole. What's next? What else can I do? So the whole time I wasn't just sitting around. I was looking for what was next. How could I move to help somebody else? What's the next? So I would definitely tell them they need a positive outlook. They have to know that they are healed and whole.
Okay, you know what? I've been doing this show, and I say it every time because somebody calls me every time doing the show, even though I put myself on do not disturb, it still comes up. It's still somebody still manages to get. Did it take us away then? I think it did. Hold on, you guys. I'm sorry.
You don't let the doctor.
Did we get disconnected? Can you hear me, Keisha?
I can hear you.
Okay.
You can hear one yes from God and 1,000 no's from 10 other people, but to hear that one yes from God, and in the Word of God, it says that we can do all things through Christ that strengthens us, and that word is so powerful. So my advice to people is to draw closer to God so that you can hear from Him. You know, I know a lot of times people say, oh, well, when you get in a situation and you want to draw closer to God, that is the time to draw closer
Yes,
to God.
yes.
And
Absolutely.
so I would say that that is it, to draw closer to God, and it's very important to hear from God.
Awesome. So when the phone, somebody was trying to call me, it took us out of the loop. So I don't think that they can hear us right now. I'm assuming that can you guys hear me?
I can
We
hear
can,
you, but I can't see you.
see
Okay.
you.
As long as you can hear me, I'm just gonna put you guys on the screen. As long as you can hear me, that's perfect. So the question that I asked Lisa was, how important was it to listen to the voice of God? Like, you hear him and listen to him. How important is that? So I'll start with LaKeisha.
I try to listen for his voice in everything that I do in life. I have a great relationship with the Father. So for me, it's very important. Even when I don't want to hear his voice, he still tells me what I need to hear. And sometimes it's not what you want to hear, but it's definitely what you need to hear. So it was extremely important for me. I feel like this has been a faith walk. It has been just a testament to my faith for me to come back and tell my story, the whole journey, because I have zipped through this thing. Do you hear me? In one piece. And I know it was God.
Yes, yes.
It was God.
Awesome. So we're gonna go to Kenya. How important is it?
Is very important. If you don't have a relationship with God and you don't put all of your faith in him, you won't make it. You will not make it, because that journey is a monster. So you have to have a relationship with him, because you won't win.
Yeah.
That was powerful. All right, Shanette, how important is it?
I'm sorry, you said me. I didn't hear you.
That's okay. How important is it to hear the voice of God, not and to obey?
That's it.
I learned that God had been speaking to me for a long time, but because I was kind of living my life, I was ignoring it. So this cancer shook me up, sat me down, kept me still, and made me listen to what he had been telling me all along. So it helped me to get a clear understanding of what I knew, but what I didn't obey to. So it was just to get my attention for everything. And it's so ironic, when I met my pastor before this happened, in which I've been knowing him for 13 years now. When he first met me, he's like, God is always speaking to you. So when this cancer thing really came through, I learned how to sit down and listen and obey what he was telling me and what he had already put on my heart.
It's important, because if you're not listening to him, then you're listening to everybody around you.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're going to get confused and you're not going to know what decisions to make. So it's important to listen.
Yes.
And to get around some people,
Faithful.
Yeah.
Some positive energy.
You can't, you really, it's on your own. It's just, sometimes you fight it at the beginning, and then you're like, okay, I'm just going to surrender, because you really cannot do any of it on your own.
No, you can't.
You really can't. Another question that I had, I'm going to start with LaKeisha first. What was something that you were just surprised about, that you learned about yourself going through this breast cancer walk?
It's funny. I feel like I never stopped. Honestly, I feel like I just learned that I really can push through and keep moving forward. I also did learn that I can take a break and it's okay to heal. I did do a little of that as well, but I really learned that I'm stronger than I even know.
Yes. Yes.
All right, Lisa.
I didn't know that I was strong as I was. Because I would hear people, go through sicknesses and things like that, and in my mind, I would always say, like, "Oh my God, I wonder, I hope that don't happen to me. I don't know how I would act, how I would respond to it." But going through a life-threatening situation like that and looking it in his face and saying, you know what, if God be for me, he's more than the world against me. So I put God to the test, and God showed me how much strength and how strong I was. I didn't even know that I was this strong and courageous and this bold. And I'm just so grateful to God that he showed me how much, how strong I am. I'm so grateful for that.
Okay. Okay. Mm-hmm.
I always been a strong person, but I didn't know exactly how strong I was until this.
Why is it important, Kenya, to share your testimony?
To let people know that you can make it. You can make it. It is not a death sentence. It's really not. And if you don't know, I'll say if you think you're weak, when you go through a test, you'll see how strong you are.
What's the one thing, Shanette, in your journey, or the one thing that you use to help you get through it, whether it be like a scripture, a song, or a person, or a place that you just, retreat to help keep you, to keep you pushing through?
It was finding support in other people. When I was first diagnosed, I had a friend that I connected with on Facebook. I joined certain cancer groups because I didn't know anything about it. So I just started reaching out for help and for support. And that helped me through a lot of my journey, just learning and educating myself about cancer in general.
LaKeisha, talk about the aftermath of cancer.
I'm sorry. Look, I had to turn my fan off. That's one of the aftermaths. I had to turn my fan off because I couldn't hear. The aftermath of cancer is a lot of adjustments in your body. Physically, your body is just not the same anymore. You're lethargic a lot. My arm from lymphedema is still very numb, and I don't know if it'll ever be the same. My legs give out. I have neuropathy really bad. You experience a lot of that. You experience chemo brain.
Mm-hmm.
Chemo brain makes you very forgetful. So you're trying different methods. Like for me, I try not to say, hand me that thing. I'm really focusing to say, hand me the pen, so that, my memory comes back. But it's a lot of that. I can't really say that it hasn't really shaken my confidence, but it has physically done something to my body. Definitely.
Mm-hmm. I think people only see you going through. They don't realize, okay, you're done with the journey, you celebrate. They don't really get to see aftermath of cancer and everything. It's a lifelong journey. And sometimes you can get to maybe 5 years and you find something new that,
Absolutely.
they didn't tell you about. Okay, the chemo is going to cause this.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Mm-hmm.
you just deal with it. You just keep pushing through because that's who we are. And we use our testimonies to share with other people to give them hope. When I was diagnosed, what I did was I went to people who was like survivors for a long time to find out, okay, what happened? What'd you do? And I found out it was nothing special that I did. It was just only by the grace of God.
Mm-hmm.
By the grace of God that we're here. So I don't want to end the show without talking about this book and the book launch that's coming up. So LaKeisha, talk about where to get the book and if they still can come to the book launch, because I know it's happening really soon.
Mm-hmm. So our book launch is finally here. It's October 4th. We've worked very hard. There's been a lot of tears and bonding,
Yes.
praying. There's been a lot.
Ooh.
Sleepless night. I don't sleep. I'm not gonna sleep until this is over with, honestly, because it's my baby and I had to birth it out.
Yes.
But the book still can be bought in the pre-sale right now. So right now, everyone that's buying the book in the pre-sale will also get a copy of our documentary, because we're doing a documentary attached to this too. So they'll get a copy of the documentary. So they can still go to my website, which is www.LaKeisha, LaKeisha, McGee, MCGEE.com. After our book launch, they can just go to Amazon and get it. Yes, they can still come. If they buy their book today, I honestly cannot say if they'll get it or not, but we will have books at the book launch, which is this Sunday, October 4th at the Atrium. Thank you. 4151 183rd Street from 4 to 6. You'll get to meet the authors, take pictures, get your books autographed, and just have a great experience with us. You may see some tears. I mean, there's been a lot to go into this book. We've been working on this. Oh my God, has it been a year? Yeah, we started last October, right?
Yeah.
We did. We started the journey in October.
We did good.
Yeah, 'cause the original launch was
started
supposed to be
last
in March.
October.
Yeah.
Right. So it's been a full year now. So we're ready. We're ready. We're ready.
Well, I'm excited for you guys. So my next question that I had was talking about, speak to someone, Lisa, about the fear of mammograms.
It was very strong for me. I didn't take them. I didn't take not one mammogram because I feared the fact of hearing that you have breast cancer, and I know that is, and that's the reason. That's one of the reasons why I'm being so vocal, because had I not taken that, had God not spoken to me, I felt a lump at home without taking mammograms because I feared them. So I want to encourage every woman to take mammograms. Early detection is the best.
Yes.
If it wasn't for the grace of God, I would have not been here to this day. I felt the lump at home at 10:30 at night. And I heard God say, touch your breast. That was weird to me because I was watching a movie at 10:30 at night and I heard it again, touch your breast. So when I touched my breast, I immediately felt the lump. But that came from years before, telling God, Lord, I'm not going to take these mammograms. I'm going to trust you to be my physician. That's why I'm telling everyone that words matter. I told God years before, I'm not taking those mammograms because I'm going to trust you to be my physician. So years later, probably 2 or 3 years later, God told me to touch my breast, and that was my physician. So that's why it's so important to have a relationship with God and hear from God and take your mammograms by faith, because faith, wisdom prolongs life. You want to know aside from not knowing, because if I had not had a relationship with God and had not spoken those words years before, I would have lost my life through breast cancer. So take mammograms.
It's important, ladies.
It's very important. Please do.
And if you're not of age to take the mammogram and cancer runs in your family, you know, if you were diagnosed at 43, at 33, your daughters should be going in for a mammogram, or at least talking to the doctors to let them know what's going on. So we have all the knowledge, we have all the power that we need. We just gotta use it. We just gotta put it to action. So Shanette, you know, this show is titled Warriors Talk, and I always like to know what someone else's definition of a warrior. So when you think of a warrior, Shanette, what do you think of? What comes to mind?
When I think of a warrior, I think of a fighter. I think that you can fight through anything. There's nothing that you can't do, and you just have to keep that in your head. I'm not going to give up. I'm going to fight. This is God's will, and I know he's going to see me through this battle. And warriors, we fight. We fight.
Kenya, what is your definition of a warrior?
First thing came to mind when you asked Shanette that, it was Superwoman. because she stayed on the battle. So a warrior is a person that stayed with their sword in their hand.
Lisa. To me, a warrior is a champion because in order to go through a war, you have to go boldly and with courage and with the intention on winning. So a warrior is a person that intends to win and not give up. So I would say a warrior is a champion, and we are all champions by the grace of God.
LaKeisha.
For me, a warrior is definitely a survivor. I've heard a couple of different things that everyone has said. That's a combination of everything. But to me, a warrior is a survivor because we're not stopping until we win. We're continuing to persevere. We're continuing to fight this battle until the very end. So we're standing strong and tall at the end because we are survivors. That's a warrior to me.
Awesome. Thank you so
Yes.
much. I want to give LaKeisha the last word because she's the visionary of the book. And one of the things that I want you to talk about is to give someone, another person who may be thinking about doing a book anthology and they're the visionary of it, give them some advice.
Woo-hoo! Woo! Let me tell you. Okay, so when I originally started this project, I think we ended with 12, but I think I started with like 25. So what I would definitely give the advice is to say, let go of your vision for God's vision, because I started with 25, but that's not who he wanted me to end with. He wanted me to have 12. And I always say we the 12 disciples. He wanted me to have 12 and not 25, but that was what I wanted. So you got to really listen and follow his vision, his plan. 2, you got to be very patient. I think I'm patient. I really do. I think I'm patient. You have to be very patient. You have to be willing to take the brunt of everything when it's your baby, because you're the one out in the front leading. So you have to be willing to be patient and lead in love. Because everybody does things differently. You really have to be willing to lead in love. I love God's people, and that's true to heart. I love people, period. And that made it easier for me to lead in love. Just know that there are going to be a lot of sleepless nights, lots of them. Just know that, no, I'm serious. They tell me I never sleep because I be texting and they be like, "You up still?" And I'm like, "Yeah." Or if they text me, I'm hitting them right back and they're like, "You're not asleep." I'm like, "No." Because as I said, it's my baby and it means a whole lot. It really does. And if it can just save one life, that means a lot to me. So just know that you have to lead in love, be patient, just be willing to be out there front and center. Just know that you're going to get reimbursed on the back end because you got to front a lot. So just be willing to love and really be in the project for the right reason.
That's it. I like that. Okay, ladies, as we bring this to a close, first of all, thank you so much for coming on. I'm so excited for you guys. Congratulations again on your book launch and the new book anthology.
Thank you.
So what I want to do is I'm going to give each of you one word and just tell me what comes to mind. The first thing that comes to mind.
Okay.
Ready?
Mm-hmm.
Shanette, survivor.
Living.
Lisa, faith.
God.
Kenya, support.
Family.
LaKeisha, visionary.
Who? Dedication.
LaKeisha, I'm going to give you the last words. Tell them again where they can find the book and how they can get to the book launch.
They can go to the website www.LaKeisha McGee, LaKeisha McGee, McGee.com. And the event is this Sunday, October the 4th, 4 to 6. Come meet the authors, bring your book. We do have some copies there. and just come and fellowship with us. Come and encourage us, because we're still going through a lot. We're still going through a lot, and it'll probably be that way forever, because as we said, we don't know when all of these physical changes are going to, if they even reverse, if they'll ever reverse. But I want to say this, my chapter is called John 11:4, and I'm gonna read that scripture, and it says, "This sickness is not unto death, but for the glory of God, that the Son of God might be glorified thereby." And that's why I named my chapter that, because he dropped that in my spirit, that you're not going to die. You're just going to glorify me in this situation. Everyone is going to know that I did it. They're going to watch your walk. They're going to see what I did. They're going to watch your glow, and they're going to know that I did this thing, and I'll get the glory.
Yes.
So that's it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you, ladies. I appreciate you. Have fun at the book launch, you guys. I appreciate you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
To share your journey with us. I'm gonna put a picture of the book up, so give me 1 second to close out. Thank you so much for tuning in to Warriors
Thank
Talk.
you so much. We appreciate you. Thank you.
Thank you, ReShell.
You're welcome. Thank you for tuning in to Warriors Talk with author and founder Lady ReShell, where we move away from awareness towards action. Join me next week right here at 6 p.m. on Intellectual Radio. We're going to be talking about domestic violence next week. And as always, Warriors Talk is changing lives, one warrior at a time.
Thank you for listening to this week's edition of Warriors Talk with Lady ReShell. To find out more about Warriors Talk, follow at
Thank you.
Talk,
We appreciate
Thank
so
you.
much.
all social media outlets, and Warriors Talk with Lady ReShell on YouTube. Please join us next week and every Monday evening at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time on intellectualradio.com for Warriors Talk with Lady ReShell, where we encourage, educate, and empower you into action.
So I know it's still a journey for you.